package inbound.
Hi guys, Nerf here. I've decided to do something absolutely mad. I'm going to try and make a foam mod using this night finder of the AEP laser pistol from Fallout that I did years ago, and I'm going to try and do it from memory so you guys can just do it. I'm not going to use any patterns. I'm going to just try and do it on the fly as quickly as possible, so it's not going to look brilliant, neat, but it's going to give you an idea of how you can turn this into that very pistol, and it will still work and it will look cool. So I was looking at using this one, but I think for size we're going to go with this one. It's a little bit more, a little bit longer, a little bit chunkier, and I think it'll look cool. So to start with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this on the saw and I'm going to cut it off here. So I'm just basically taking off the light section off the front, just so that when we put the casing on, that isn't getting in the way. So I'll be back once I've done that. And we're back. I've taken the front part off. You can see, amusingly, even though I just literally hit this up on my bandsaw, the light still works. It's a shame that we can't integrate that in some way. I think making those wires longer, you probably could if you've got the time. I haven't got the time. You could make these wires longer and maybe sit that just below on that front piece once we're done, and then when you press the trigger, obviously you would have that cool sort of laser look. I might still do that. We'll see how we go. You never know. Right, I'm gonna cut the pieces of foam that we're gonna need to basically change the entire look of this thing, and I will be showing you how to do that. This video, like my last video with the Warhammer 40k bolt gun, will probably be split into parts because I'll need time to make it and then time to paint it. But I will take you through from the very first bit, which is now, all the way through to finishing it. Sorry guys, all the way through to finishing it and painting it, so that you get your finished prop. Should be pretty cool. Yeah, all right, let's do this. Okay, I'm like, why look a gift horse in the mouth? I'm going to try and rewire this bad boy and see how we go. Might not work, might work. Fun learning experience if I can get my fingers in there anyway. I know all the Nerf modders watching this now like, what is she doing? Oh my god, she's destroying it. You know what it is, guys? Time and laziness. Yeah, I can unscrew it and get that out easier. I haven't got the time. I haven't got the time. So, whatever. Let's do this. Oh, painful. Okay. Oh no, what's she done now? She does not know what she's doing. That's what I can tell you. Electronics are not my thing. Okay guys, for the sake of transparency, and because I don't want to pretend that I did something that I didn't and then make things harder on you, I did have to take it apart. My fingers are small, but they would not fit in that to twist those wires. If you're looking at this and thinking this is an electrical nightmare, it's because I do not know what I'm doing. I'm not going to pretend that I do. But the main thing is, it's working. It's a little bit longer, so, I mean, if it works, it works. It's a cool addition. If it doesn't work, I'm not too fussed because I wasn't going to do it in the first place. Right, so let's crack on. Put this all back together and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, you can see that that's actually worked. I'm stunned. And if I can do that, any idiot can do it, because that is not my forte whatsoever. All I did was add extra wire. I've essentially lengthened what was there so that we can poke that out the front, probably here, or here. Okay, so next up we're going to cut some pieces of foam. As I said, I'm not using a template for this. I'm literally going to show you how to do it on the quick. If you take your time and measure everything when you're doing yours, it will look way better. I don't have time. Oh, the other thing I did, I just took that off because it was superfluous, and I thought maybe that might be useful for something else at some point. Might end up pushing that back through, I'm not sure. All right, let's get the foam, get this thing going. I just checked my foam supply and I literally have pieces that I've cut on. So lucky this is post-apocalyptic business. This should still work. I don't recommend you do this, however. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to cut 2 squares out. One for the front Angela, and one for the back. These will both be the same size, and the size of the squares will dictate the size of the center surround that goes along here. So I'll do that now and I'll come back when it's finished. Okay, we're back. I've cut all the pieces. Not neat at all. Basically, the idea here is you need to work out what pieces you need, which is 2 wide pieces and 2 slightly thinner pieces, and you're going to make a box. The 2 end pieces, one needs a hole in that will slip over here, and the other needs a hole and a split in so you can slip it over this. And it will still work, so that's the awesome thing. Also, if we're adding this, I haven't worked out how to do it yet. That will be going in here somewhere. So we'll need to add another smaller hole for that. So how the box works is, you just need to work it out really by gluing them on. Now I would usually put the wider one to the top, but it really doesn't matter because it's post-apocalyptic. So you can see I've cut it wrong already. There's a mistake because I didn't measure it. I literally buzzed it up on the saw because I need to get back to work as usual. The 2 thinner ones will fit in the middle, here and here, and this one should fit here. So you glue that box together, and that box is going to encase your Nerf gun. And then we put the larger surround on afterwards and sort of make it work with the plunger at the back. And then we add the bar on and the upright section, and you're done. So I'm going to go off and glue this together and then show you how to put it on here and pat it out so that it's not all sort of floppy. And I think that's probably going to be it for this video, because otherwise it's going to drag on too long. Unless I look at it and the time isn't too bad. We'll add the larger end caps on also, and maybe a little bit of the decorative. In fact, I think we will do that. Otherwise it's going to drag on to who knows how many videos. I'll be back in a minute when I've glued this all on. Okay guys, that was more of a nightmare than I thought. What's that saying they say? Measure twice, cut once. Not measuring at all is not a great idea. I've had to do 2. First one was too short once I put it on the gun. Next one, okay. So the pieces that you get, the 2 thinner pieces, you need to cut an alley. This is so that you can slide it on over this part. I rejigged where the holes are slightly. You can see that one's even off center. So this part here slides over. Just get that out of the way. To make it easier on myself, I actually carved out slightly. Hopefully you can see that where these parts go. Yeah, that's the only other thing that I've done on there. So that pushes on. You can see it's pretty snug. It's hiding everything in there. So it's not too bad. The front part will eventually glue on here. Still need to work out what I'm doing with this. I might put that in the actual front. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, the front part goes on there. That'll eventually glue on. Again, all of my cuts are off by like 1 or 2 mil. And the back part just will glue into the inside here. And if you're wondering why I cut the split there and not at the smaller part, that was purely for strength, because when I glue that back together it will be a lot stronger than if I'd glued this tiny piece together. So you can see it's coming along already. Still works no problem. Make sure you leave enough here. You don't want this pushed right up against this. You don't want any sort of drag. Same with that. That's why I've left that just sticking out. I think it looks kind of cool anyway with the angled part. So once that's all glued on, we'll start work on covering up any dodgy bits, making it more square and adding the detailing on. I think I'm going to add the next bulky parts on and then we might leave it go until the next video because I don't want it to drag on forever and ever. So I'll be back in a minute, guys. Just another little addition, guys. I've just decided to show you what I've done with that light. I've pushed the shroud over it so the wires just go up and in here so that they're hidden. And I've just pushed it through an extra little hole above the barrel exit, and that will just push on there. And looks pretty cool, I think. Just something different. You may as well use it if it's there. I'm astounded that that worked because, as I say, it's not really my forte, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Onto the outside bits. Okay, I've got the box on. See, it's pretty well sealed, other than this part, which we'll fix. Got this on, still working. Light's working. It's all glued on. Loads of mistakes, not too worried. Just thought I'd show you that it doesn't really interfere with the power of the thing. So we're all good. There you go. Okay guys, I've cut 2 strips, probably slightly too thin, but time is ticking. What we're going to do now is you will need to measure a little bit. Leave a little bit of overhang for the detail that's going to go in this middle area. And you're just going to glue it all the way around like this. And you can see it's the start of that sort of fallout look that we're after. So I'm going to do that, glue it on, come back, and do the back piece the same. Okay guys, front's on. It's looking absolutely terrible because I cut it slightly too short and had to pinch it in. So now it's, you can see it's not square. You won't do that when you're doing yours because you will measure it and you will have time, sweet, sweet time. The back piece, I've just cut this and this just to take care of here. And again, literally wrapping that around and pushing it in, and then we'll have the back on. And you can see you're starting to get that fallout pistol look and feel. Do that, I'll come back. Okay guys, managed to super glue my ring to my finger there. This is it, this is where we're at. You can see it's starting to take that sort of shape. Probably should be longer. If you're not rushing, I would suggest making the barrel slightly longer, thus making the entire thing longer. This is more like a sort of fallout mini pistol, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. The only other thing that I've done other than gluing the back piece on is gluing a little piece of foam to that hole and putting a piece in that hole as well, just to give it extra stability. See, I've cut it wrong. This has to be the worst thing I've ever made so far, which is hilarious. There's so many mistakes, I'm not even kidding. But the good thing about the Fallout universe is, of course, everything's made of scraps. So in a way, I'm trying to look at it positively. It kind of adds to the finished product. That's the end for this video. In the next video, we'll be adding some of the venting and the little doodads, buttons and dials and whatever else. We'll also be adding that front section here that comes down and the bar that joins here. Now usually I would do it at the bottom here, but I can't do that now because I have left the light on. So because we decided to keep that, we will be doing it from here so that we can still have access to the battery panel here. But you can see it's still working fine. It's still got the same amount of power that it had. And yeah, so that's it. So I'm leaving that one here for now. Try and get it live today if I can. And I will come back tomorrow and try and add some of the greeblies. Hope you've enjoyed part 1 of this Fallout laser pistol Nerf challenge. And I'll see you in part 2. Nerfenstein out.